Hi, come on in. Come on in and set a spell with me. It's good to see you again. I didn't disappear. Everything is okay. Levi is okay. I'm okay. Mama is okay. I just been waiting patiently, trying to be patient for my TEMU orders to come in, for my AliExpress order to come in. I finally got a TEMU order late yesterday, so of course I'm not going to waste any time in getting this out to you. And then I've been doing a little bit here and there around the house, pacing myself so that my family does not scold me for doing too much. I tend to do too much sometimes, don't I? So anyway, guys, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Um, you all been chasing me down, worried about me, sending me messages, and I can't tell you, it did my heart good to know that there's actually somebody out there that has my back, that's worried about me. Sometimes we think there never is, but you know what? I found out y'all are there for me. You're the best. I have the best viewers. So let's get into this Temu order because there is stuff in here I desperately need to work on the house. Well, some of which is to get rid of this privacy sheet that's behind me and a few other things. I have an agenda today, which does involve obviously house stuff. So, but first off, it involves Temu stuff. So let's get right into this. I have two of these. These were $8.69 each. And I'm only going to open one. Obviously, you don't need to see two if they're identical, right? Okay, so these are adjustable metal curtain rods for here. My intention, I don't want all this beautiful wood that's hiding back here in the framework. I don't want to start putting screw holes and everything into that. So I'm going to mount my curtain rods from the inner part cross to the other inner part, skip over the middle, and do the same on the other side. And to do that, I needed two curtain rods instead of one, right? Okay, so these come with their mounting brackets, which I am not going to use for the curtain rod. I'm going to use these over my laundry machine to hold the wire rack that I'm putting in. Genius, right? Does come with all the mounting hardware, which I won't be using, but it comes with 4 pieces. Now, the one I got, this size is, what is this size? I don't know. Why does it never tell me on here? These labels. Gosh, okay. So this goes from 30 inches to 43 inches. These windows on the inside are 37 inches each. So I've got 3 of one length and 1 of a smaller one. I don't know how many of these pieces I'm going to have to put together to make that 37 inches, and I may actually have to cut one of them. On the end, it has just a tiny little decorative piece that's permanently on there. It has your screw section. This is a blank metal section, middle section, and all you have to do is press them together and then screw them together to get the length you want. So to get the 37 inches that I need, not sure how much I'm going to have to put together, but it looks like that. Like the one piece, the full piece, and then the short piece. Let's see if I push the short piece in all the way. Might be a little bit better. So we're off by about an inch. That inch on the end, I'll take my hacksaw, I'll cut it off. I won't need it. What's going to hold this on the window, you said? Well, what's going to hold it is coming in my next Temu order. I got what they call the shower curtain holders, where they're like a little semicircle cup that you put on the wall sideways and you just drop your rod down into it. I got those in black to match with this. So I will have leftover piece, which you know I'm going to put to use, right? I have a massive amount of space over my little laundry machine, and I am going to be using these rods, the leftover rods, to help me fill that space and make a custom curtain rod to go across there. Because we talked about in previous videos, we talked about me doing perhaps a beaded curtain in front of that. But at the very least, I'm going to have something there. So I don't know why these won't go in. I'll figure it out later. I'll put them over there for now. So nothing goes to waste. But considering how little I paid, excuse me, I have the hiccups. I have to slow down. I'm just so excited to be back. So considering how little that I paid for each of these, I'm okay with having leftovers. And I'm actually kind of glad I have leftovers because I can make shorter little hanging curtain rods in all different spots that I might need to put hooks on or something on along those lines. Excuse me, I have more coffee. This is my favorite cup, in case you can't see. It has all different sayings on it. Mama got me this cup years ago. Love, smile, dream, believe in new things, have fun, celebrate, teach, grow, have fun. This is one of my favorite coffee cups. And as you can tell, yes, it's big. This is a 16-ounce cup. And I usually have 2 of these in the morning. No, that doesn't explain it. Who said that? One of you guys just said that explains why I'm so hyper. No, I'm not hyper. That's not the coffee. I'm just happy to be back. Happy to see you guys again. And of course, being a New Yorker, I just do everything fast. Okay, a former New Yorker. I'm a Bama girl now, and I love being a Bama girl. All right, $1.68 for 20 pieces. These are clear silicone caps. Little caps, little legs to go on the bottom of furniture. You've all seen my beautiful green, teal green clam chair, the circular chair that looks like a clamshell. The legs they're very sharp on the bottom. The feet that were on there are long gone. I need to protect my floor. These have little bumps. I don't know if you can see the little bumps on the bottom. Okay. Those bumps are actually on the inside. They're inside this, and they help grip it to the bottom of the chair so it doesn't kind of slide around and pop off the chair. So this is what they're shaped like. I'm hoping I measured the chair is 1 inch, the legs. So it's only got 4 legs, but 20 pieces. These are going to wear down. I have to move that chair every time I need to get into a certain cabinet in the living room. So sliding it across the floor, I don't want it to damage anything. These are great. I am also going to use these on the bottom of my footstool. I have a 3-step footstool that the rubber legs on the bottom of it are a long shot. And I have an antique, excuse me, one of those antique laundry tables, I guess to call it. It's like like a cafe table. It's only like 2.5 feet by 18 inches. It's got the Formica top and all the stainless steel legs that your grandma used to have in the kitchen or in the basement for folding laundry. Well, the way the legs are, each of those legs have 2 feet and they don't have the caps on them anymore. So 8 of those are immediately going to go to that. 4 of it's going to go to this chair, and 4 of it is going to go to my stand. So there's 16 right there out of the 20. If you think about what's going on around your house, you'll probably figure out that you'll need them too. Okay. $4.66 for this. I was waiting for this because what I had to do was not pleasant. This is a pooper scooper. The gentleman who bought my house back in Arizona, I consider him a friend. He has a big dog and a big, full-size black lab who's full of energy. And the lab, well, let's just say that some accessories were needed to take care of the lab. So I left behind what I had been using for Sadie and Levi to pick up the yard because that yard was all stone. So I left behind that particular rake and bin and everything else that the gentleman would need in order to pick it up. So I had to get a new pooper scooper. And this is a collapsible folding pooper scooper. So I love that it just kind of hangs loose till you need it. But the minute you pull on this little one on the inside, it tightens it up. You can see it's not moving. Opens it up so that it has all these nice little teeth. There's the teeth, top and bottom, has the teeth. And like Pac-Man, you let go and it snaps closed. And literally, it snaps closed tightly. Oh, I don't know if you just heard that, but that really closes nice. So pick it up, take it, put it over the bin, the bag that I have, release it, and it folds down to save space. I'm not worried about it folding down. This is going to go on. You can see it has a hole up here, right here in the handle. This is going to go on a hook outside on the back stairs, out of sight, but it's going to be out there and it's going to stay out there. I ain't bringing this thing in the house. And I'm certainly not going to close it in the shed. And I don't want to have to wash it off every time after I use it. But this will hang outside. And you can see it's wibbly wobbly because it will fold. But when you need it, when you call for it, the wiggle is like not there. It just pulls it right up. It'll give it a little bend if you need it to. You release it. Yeah, this is cool. So I went out with this. I put it back in the bag so I could show it to you. And I did wash it off, but no, I did not use it for Levi's deposits. I am surrounded by pine cones on the ground because of the thunderstorms and tornadoes in the area. And I will tell you, a tornado did touch down just a few miles from me. And I have a little video clip that I will put in on what it looks like off in the distance, where when it was passing through, the sky was black, and darlings, it was not nighttime. It was mid-afternoon. The sky was jet black. The lightning and the clouds is all you could see. You would have sworn it was midnight. Okay? Check out this video clip.
Unless it's an emergency, you should be getting there now. Like Corneth and northeastward. We got a big tornado that's heading right at you. Do you have a helmet? It's a good idea to put that on. Have closed-toe shoes with you as well. You have closed-toe shoes with you. That's going to be one thing that'll help if there's tornado damage in your area. Still a big-time tornado right now in southeast Alabama. Cattle is currently about to be hit by this tornado. Another kind of rural area going up towards Sandfield. And just north of Banks right now. The Holly Springs Missionary Baptist Church is about to be hit by this. And there's also a cemetery there, and there are a few farms and homes that are in this area, right up near this intersection south of Sandfield.
Seriously creepy. Okay? But the house never shook. Not a wiggle, not a wobble, nothing. We had 45 to 65 mile an hour wind gusts. And at one point we had over 50 mile an hour sustained winds that just did not stop blowing. And I could hear the wind. Literally, it sounded like there was a freight train off in the distance. It was the creepiest sound I've ever heard. I've been close to tornadoes only once before, back in New York, but not this close. But I got to tell you, guys, I was not afraid. I just knew, I have gifts. I just knew that I was safe and Levi and I were safe, and we were better off to just hunker down right here in our home and stay put. Not to be out on that road where my little car could get caught up in the winds, or I'd be out there in the torrential rains with things blowing around and bouncing off my car. I am safe and secure here. I have 3 massive loblolly pines directly on one side of my house and 3 on the other side of my house. Plus, there's another row of them about 50 feet away from me, and there's 2 at the back. I'm nestled in. Could a pine tree fall on my house? Of course it could. But you look at these trees and you know they have been standing, they're more than 100 years old. So they've been through a lot. I have faith in Mother Nature. She kept me safe, right? That and all your prayers. Okay, let's get into more in here. Oh, for the yard. Yes. $5.08 for this. Jim, I'm just so excited to tell you about everything that's been going on and just fill you in because it's been a while. So for $5, now the prices I'm giving you were the prices on the date that of the original order, but I've had price adjustments. I had credits that I used, so this is not necessarily the price I paid. First thing I noticed about these is that there's hooks. They stack inside each other. There's a hook. These will go in my shed on a hook so that they're easy to get to. But these are leaf claws. Slide your hand inside, scoop up the pine needles, put them in a pile. These are sturdy. I thought these were going to be really, really flimsy. Not at all. They're very, very sturdy plastic. The tines on the end are very, very sturdy. Now the handles, not so much. They're thin plastic, and I anticipate they probably, you can see they come apart. If I were to turn one, I could take them out. I'm not worried about the handles breaking. Because of the way that they have holes, if I need to, I can just braid some cord, pass it through, tie big knots on the back, and make my own little handles. You can do anything to make straps. Old pocketbook handles make great straps for things like this. But the whole idea behind this is I'm used to just grabbing my rake with one hand and my bare hand or gloved hand with the other hand and scooping it up on the rake. I love the idea of having these to put them together, pick up the pine needles, right? Because I have a lot of pine needles, and just move everything into a pile so that the gentleman here in our community, he goes around and he takes care of all the Mother Nature deposits, shall we call it, all the broken branches and twigs and things that come down, and the pine needles and the pine cones and grass clippings. He takes care of all that. But this will make it nice and easy for me. I love that they fit together perfectly inside each other and that I can hang them up together in the shed. Great idea. And by the time I had price adjustments, I think these were like a little over $3 for a set of 2. They have them in different colors. I didn't care. I got the cheaper ones, which was the green. You know me, I'll always go for the lower price unless it's something that's maybe in decor that I don't want to compromise on the color or whatever. All right, what else we got in here? Ah, I got to show you what I got that this goes with. $2.08 was the original cost on this. And believe it or not, this is a curtain tieback. On this center beam right behind me, right here, is where this is going to hold my curtains open. So when I put the curtain rods on, and I do need to tell you, I am not going all the way up to the top of the window because I love the natural light. But I'm going to leave about 18 inches of open air, so to speak, before I put the rods on, and then the curtains will hang down from that. This, so I said $2.08 before discounts. This is how I'm going to hold them. This is like an old hair tie. When you saw me wear my hair pieces, by the way, which I almost put Kira on this morning, but I have not had a chance to comb out and brush out my hair pieces yet. So this is like an old-fashioned hairpiece where you put this in front of the curtains, you pull this around, you pass the bar behind the curtains, around the other side, and you have your curtain rod, your curtain holder. Isn't that the coolest thing? I absolutely saw this. I loved it. And it does come in different shades, but I got it in the neutral tones. And this is a nice, soft, cottony hemp. This is not rough or scratchy where it would damage your curtains. And this is regular twine. That's a beautiful, just a nice piece of twine around it. So I saw this and I thought this was perfect. It reminded me of an old-fashioned hair tie. It'll go right back here in the middle. And it is for these. So I went all over the internet, all over TEMU. I wanted a certain color curtain that would go with the house and with the furniture. And as you can see, I have all these colors in my house. I have a red couch. I have the teal clam chair. I have my beautiful brown desk and different shades of brown in my desk. I have the kind of like the rust color, the tangerine color. Not quite sure what you would call it. Let me see. What would you call it? Burnt orange. That's what I'm looking for. So I wanted burnt orange curtains. Do you have any idea how hard it is to find that color in a nice curtain, in the right length, in the right style? Me, the better part of a week. And I can't even count how many times I had to recharge my laptop because I was just on it and lost track of time. So I finally found them at Amazon. They weren't there initially. And it's like the seller, I don't know, the universe knew what I was looking for. And all of a sudden, this seller had a new color come in. And darned if it wasn't burnt orange in the length that I needed. All right. These are 48 inches in length. Now, my windows, these are 5-foot windows. So I am going to be leaving, as I said, foot to 18 inches and let them hang down a little bit below the sill. These are grommet style. So the black curtain rod that I just showed you will go through this. All right. Look at this gorgeous color. I don't know if you can see how it is, but this is actually like a dark pumpkin. This is a burnt orange. And this material, I got to get it close so you can see the material. Let me separate them. There's 2 panels here. And the 2 panels, did I mark what I paid for them? I didn't, but I'll dig up the price and I'll put the price up there. I don't think it was much. I think it was like under $25 for the 2 panels. But look at the stitching on this. Absolutely beautiful stitching on this. All right. The grommets, amazing grommets. And these are washable. All right. What's going on with my light here? Hold on a second. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So, absolutely gorgeous. This material is not polyester. It's very, very soft. Really super soft. It's not silky. It's not polyester. I don't know what it is. Is there a tag on here? Let's find out. But these are gorgeous. And these came from Amazon. All right. So it is wash, dry, and iron. Doesn't tell me. Oh, hang on. Maybe. No, it is. It's 100% polyester. But this is a nice polyester. All right, this is one of the better polyesters. Each panel has 6 grommets on it. Each panel is, I believe they are 40 inches across. And of course, the inner part of my windows is the 36, 38. So they'll have just a little bit of a crunch, so to speak, to get that nice little ripple. But these came from Amazon. As soon as I get the hooks from my other TEMU order that will hold up the rods, I'll be able to put them up. When I want to draw them together to close them in the center, this is what I will be closing them with. So that's why I went with the colors that I went with, so that it would go a lot better. The other choice for this was like a brownish color, and I didn't want the darker color on this. I wanted the lighter color. So I am thrilled with that. I can't wait to start putting this stuff together. Hold on, I need more coffee. Okay, what else we got in here? One more thing? Okay. It's not a big order, but boy, it took forever to get me. And yes, I did get my $5 credit for it being delayed. It was actually delayed by 4 days beyond the expected due date. I have 3 or 4 more TEMU orders outstanding that are also delayed. One of them, I'm pretty sure, is not going to get here by today because it just cleared customs, and today was the expected delivery date. So that'll be another $5. Make sure you keep an eye on your packages. If they don't get to you by the by the very last date on the delivery date, the range that they give you when you place an order, they'll say deliver by. If that last day comes, and it has to be midnight, that day has to pass, because I've seen UPS, at least in my neighborhood, deliver at 11:30 at night. So the day after, you don't wait to see if they're going to give you a credit. If they haven't, you contact customer service right away. Say, hey, my delivery due date was yesterday. I didn't get it. Could I please have my $5 credit? And they won't even hesitate. They'll give it to you right away. But I have found that if you don't ask for it, they don't always automatically give it to you, right? Price adjustments are the same way. If there's a price, like I clicked on, what was it? Oh, these little footy things. I clicked on this to see, I couldn't remember if I ordered the 20 pack or a bigger selection of them. And when I went back into my order and I clicked on the item from my order to make sure I got back to the seller and where I got it from, I noticed that the price had gone down by like 60 cents. I was never given a price adjustment for that. So I contacted customer service and I gave them the link. I say, hey, I purchased this item from this vendor on such and such a date, and per my order, this is what I paid. It is now at a lower price by 60 cents, and I was not given the price adjustment. Just like that. They get, nope, no problem. Here you go. They gave me the 60-cent price adjustment. So it doesn't hurt, especially if you have smaller orders. Like most of my orders now have like 7, 8 items in them. And it's not because I'm trying to keep the order small. It's because I'm trying to work within a budget. I set a dollar amount for each order. I fit whatever I can into that order. But I am meticulous about double checking for my price adjustments. So this was $18.31. And this is going to be a project for later this week, because today I already have my project set up, which we'll talk about at the end of the video. Tomorrow, Levi and I have appointments and errands to run. So probably Thursday or Friday, this project. What's in here? This is a 6-pack of bed risers. These are the larger bed risers. These bed risers are 3 inches, more than 3 inches on the top, almost 4 inches on the top, where the center is 3 inches. And the center has, let's see if I can get one out. I don't know if I can get one out or not. I might be able to. The center has a little cushion. I don't know if you can see that cushion on the inside, right there. All right, that's what your leg sits on. Well, the leg of my beds are about a little more than 2 inches around. And they're round metal ones. It's a weird frame that I have. So I had to get something bigger that would actually fit in here or fit on here. But if I need to, I can turn them upside down and set the legs down in this way if I need to. These are solid. There's a set of 6. I got the set of 6 because my bed actually has 5 legs. There we go. Let's get them all out. A bed with 5 legs. It's because it's a queen size frame. I have the 4 standard legs, but I have a crossbar in the middle, and that has its own leg to support the center of the bed, in addition to the slats that go across it. So these risers, right now my bed sits low. It's low for me. It's a bed that I had used in Mom's bedroom at my house in Arizona, and I had adjusted the legs to make them lower so it was easier for her to sit on the edge of the bed and to be able to get in and out and up from the bed when she stayed with me or when she napped with me. So I never had the bed risers, and the adjustment pieces didn't all come. I don't know where they ended up in delivery, but who knows where they are. So I ordered these. Very simply, you put them on the ground, and you saw that I have the big sliders that I got a couple orders ago. I'll put a slider underneath this to protect my floor because these are hard plastic. Put them all down underneath each one of the legs. I'll have a spare left over in case anything happens to one of them. Who knows? I might need it for something else. I'll think outside the box and figure something out. These are very solid. I I can't squeeze these. And you all know I'm strong. I cannot get these to bend or flex. And the way that they're built on the inside, can you see those ridges? All right, those ridges keep the top from collapsing and bending as well. I'm real happy with how strong and how sturdy these are. I have a lot to do around here. It's not like I haven't already done enough, right? But that's this TEMU haul with a little Amazon thrown in there. Now, I will say, I did price comparisons, all right, before we get into around the corner. I did price comparisons on this set, these, okay, the doggy scoop, and the leaf picker-uppers. I did a price comparison of these on Amazon and AliExpress to TEMU. So I compared the three. I always like to do at least three to compare. And those are my kind of standard three, because that's pretty much what everybody shops at those places. TEMU came in the lowest, but not by a lot. On the leaf picker-uppers, they were maybe 50 cents cheaper at TEMU than they were at AliExpress. Their shipping, AliExpress and TEMU, are almost day for day, very, very close to each other. Usually 10 days to 2 weeks from the date that you place your order, you'll actually receive it. So for me, it wasn't an issue of the shipping time. Amazon was much, much more expensive for those. Amazon was more expensive, believe it or not, for everything. And if you don't have Prime, you have to spend $35 in order to get free shipping on most things. So Amazon, no, cross them off. So it came down to AliExpress and TEMU. On the leg items, on the bed risers, AliExpress was about $1 cheaper, but I had to pay shipping on them because AliExpress doesn't make use of the de minimis rule, which is like the bulk shipping, because all their individual retailers ship themselves. So you might do one order, but you might get 6 or 7 different packages, and not all just one big package. Like with TEMU, they pull it all together and send you one package. So because the shipping put it higher price than TEMU, and I was willing to wait the time to get it, I went with getting it from TEMU. So price comparisons are very, very important to me. So anyway, enough of that stuff. What's going on just around the corner, guys? Holy tamales! I have had such a whirlwind almost 2 weeks since we last connected. I have a lot of pictures to put up and show you what's been going on around the house. But I'm going to give you a breakdown of each of these pictures, right? So the first thing that I forgot to show you was my shed being built. Now, I had to have the shed built before I could even move in the house because I knew there was no way all my boxes and bins were going to even fit in the house, and I didn't want my valuables sitting out on the front porch until I could unpack things. I also knew that I was going to need a shed for long-term storage. That's a given. When you have a tiny home, unless you're willing to give up everything and not take care of your own property or not have your own space, that was not me. All right, I needed some semblance of what I call normality for me, so I had to have the shed done. So check out these pictures. This gentleman, I'll pop them up here. His name was Alex. He drove all the way in from Atlanta. Now, that's not far. That's about a 2.5, 3-hour drive or so. He drove in from Atlanta, got here maybe 10 o'clock in the morning on March 3rd. And by 2:30 in the afternoon, the shed was done. And as you can see, he started from the ground up, the walls, the trusses, the roof sheeting, the doors, the little window in the front for light, which I thought was kind of a cool feature. And he put on the tar paper, which would seal the roof. He put on regular roofing shingles on this, drip edge. in the dark brown. The shingles look black, but they're actually a really, really dark cocoa brown. And it only took him like 4.5 hours. He had estimated 5 hours. It took him about 4.5 hours, and that included his cleanup time. He was meticulous, making sure he picked up every scrap of wood, every nail, everything around that shed, and left the area completely policed and safe for bare feet. I was out there with him back and forth in my flip-flops. Levi and I were out there, and of course, Levi's bare feet. We have to protect it. But the shed came out beautiful. It is primed, so I'm not panicking about getting it painted. I will be painting it the color of the house. The body of the shed will be the dark brown that the house is, and the trim work will be the brick red. So it's going to match the house. What can I say? Some things just have to match. The other thing I forgot to show you in the last video is the film, the window film, to block out most of the view, for the privacy film, I guess you would call it, that I put on the sliding door. So the sliding door, I had done one side, and you can see how you can't really get any definition of what's out there. But on the other side, you get some definition that there's another home quite a distance away from me, but it's out there. But by the time I put both panels up, you couldn't even tell what was outside. So I still had plenty of light coming in, this beautiful design to look at on the windows. And yes, eventually I will put shears or a draw curtain across that door, because when the light is on the inside, you can't see anything clearly, but you can see shadows. All right, because I turned the light on, I went outside, and I could see the shadow, the outline of Levi standing at the door going like, why am I in the house and you're not? So I could tell, I could see like just the outline of the edge of the bed and just the outline of the looking through into the kitchen, because I had the TV on and you could see the light coming down through. So I said, okay, so for true privacy purposes at night, I'll put a draw curtain up there, right? So that'll be another adventure to find out. I kind of have the idea that I'd really love to put a macrame curtain up there, because I'm doing that bedroom in a dark chocolate brown, a very beautiful shade of green, which is not quite an emerald green, not quite a forest green, kind of in between there, not as bright as an emerald, but not as dark as a forest, and a cream color. So those three shades are what's going to be in there. And I think a macrame curtains to go on that slider door would just really pop. So that's what I'm thinking for that. Okay, so then I put this two little middle shelves in the shower, the corner shelves, and you can see those in here, how I got them in, and I got them in use. I put a latch on the interior of the bathroom door. Now remember, all this stuff came from TEMU. All these things that I'm showing you that I did, the window film, that all came from TEMU. The shed, of course, did not. The shower shelves came from TEMU. I think they look great. I love them. They were easy to install. Fortunately, I knew where the plumbing was in the shower, so I knew I was not going to. You do have to drill a little hole. Nothing big, but you have to drill to put them in, and then they screw into the wall really, really nicely, and they're very sturdy. So I'm loving those. I put a latch on the inside of the bathroom door so that when you slide the door closed, I, of course, don't have to worry about that. I live alone. But when I have a guest, you can slide the door closed and flip that little latch over, and it holds it beautifully. It's easy to open, and then you just put your finger where the lock was, and you slide the door open, and you're out. So it's non-obtrusive. It's very attractive looking because it's the black cast metal, which is going beautifully with the wood in the house. I also put that heavy-duty latch on the screen door, so that when we do get the wind, the door doesn't move. An eye hook in a strong wind can easily rip out. This thing ain't going nowhere. This thing has got 3 screws on one end, 2 screws on the other end, and it's got some serious weight to it. So I found that it does hold the door very, very sturdy. The door pulls for the pantry and the pocket door, those black ones, they came from TEMU. I put those on. absolutely work perfectly, and they're beautiful against that natural wood. The black and the tan is such a classic combination. I love it. The kitchen knobs. Now, I did put a couple of kitchen knobs on the sink. I'm doing something different. I've ordered strap pulls, leather strap pulls, to go on different parts of the kitchen cabinets, simply because when I open things or swing them open, I don't have room for there to be a knob on there, because that knob is hitting up against like my range, and it won't let the cabinet door open all the way. So I have to do a different pull. But I'm going to have a mixture of these black and tan knobs and pulls on the kitchen. The upper cabinets, right now, I'm thinking I'm not going to put anything on them. I cannot imagine anything detracting from that beautiful knotty pine look. Now, the wood is not pine, it's hickory, and it's solid. Hickory is hard wood. I don't really want to start drilling holes in this and putting knobs on there. I just can't imagine anything that would look good on it. So for now, I'm just going to leave it as is. I just put my finger underneath and open it up, and I'm not having a problem. So we'll have to think about that. The mirror over the bathroom sink is a mirror that I had gotten in Arizona. I had it on the wall over my desk, and I brought it with me because I knew it was going to match beautifully with the color of the vanity. And as you can see, it does. And it's an oval mirror. It's not round or rectangular. It's oval. And it really softens that wall and gives that curve. But it's got the seafoam green, and it's got the browns and the cream colors and all the different colors. I just absolutely love it. And once the wall is painted, which is probably going to happen on Thursday, once those walls are painted in that sand color, it'll really make the mirror stand out that much more. So I love that mirror. The little tiny dog butt hooks, those little black dog fannies with the tail sticking up, I put one of them by the slider by the back door, and I put the other one outside on the front porch by the front door, so that no matter which door I take Levi out, he has a leash hanging on both doors. And they're two red leashes. One was his and one was Sadie's, and of course I kept him. So now I don't have to worry about where his leash is. It's right there. If he and I are going someplace in the car, I grab the one from the front porch. If it's in the middle of the night and he's got to go out, depending on what the weather is, I might just put him on the tether and let him go out on the tether, or I'll go out with him on the leash. If it's bad weather, I tend to go out with him on the leash so I can keep us kind of sheltered underneath the trees. You know what I mean? But it's so handy to have these things like right there, and they're tucked out of the way, but yet they're cute. They're just cute. The doorstop, I did end up actually, because of how the door opens and where the furniture is placed, I did end up actually putting the doorstop on the wall, and the back of it, of course, on the door, and it works beautifully. It's got a really strong magnetic hold to it that the door, you have to give it a little tug to separate it. It's not just grab the door and open it. It's like you have to pull against it. So I love it has this, excuse me, I have the hiccups, that it has a strong magnet. Perfect item. Thank you, TEMU, for that. That was a good choice. The doorbells are up. So I have one doorbell right next to the main door of the house. I have the other doorbell outside next to the screen door, because there are times, especially in the evening and whatnot, that I do keep that screen door latched and nobody can just walk onto the porch. But if I'm expecting somebody, like my neighbor Anita or Lana or whatever, I will flip up the latch so that they can come in, and then they can just ring the doorbell by the front door. No, I did not put one by the back slider, because I don't want anybody coming up those back stairs to my bedroom. I don't want to invite them to come in that way to the house, right? It's just, to me, it's just not safe. All right, the medicine cabinet. Wow. This took me about an hour to put together, and I'll tell you why. Not because it was hard, but because when I saw all the pieces, all the hardware, I'm like, OMG, this is going to be crazy. And I told myself, You're not going to worry about it. What I did was I separated out all the pieces. In other words, they all came labeled. I laid everything out where I could see it, and you'll see that in this picture. I laid everything out and I grabbed the instructions. I did one page at a time, and I did not try to rush through it. Guys, you'd be proud of me because I really slowed my roll to do this. So I followed the instructions. I did this little section first, made sure it was tight, compared it, made sure it worked. Okay, on to the next. So you'll see a series of the pictures as I went from step to step to step. Now, is it completely finished? No, because there's no need for me to put the shelves in there and the other things, the towel bar and everything that goes on the bottom of it until it's up on the wall. I don't need that extra weight, and I don't need that stuff getting in my way or moving around because the shelves are removable. I did put the doors on it, but on the corner of each of the doors, there are little rubber stops. And I will be taking the doors off so that I can mount this to the wall once the wall is painted. You take the rubber stops out, the doors will slide right off. That eliminates a couple of pounds. Those doors are, this thing is heavy. This thing easily weighs probably 20, maybe 25 pounds. It's solid. It is OSB board. It's not real wood, but it's solid. But I just love the look of it. It is a perfect size. It's 33 inches across. It fits exactly where I needed it to fit on the wall up over my toilet. So that's going to be going up after the wall's painted. Everything happens after the walls are painted, right? Okay. The house numbers are on. I put the house numbers on the front. Prior to putting them up, I had taken some extra paint that I had and just painted the house number on the bottom of the steel frame so that my deliveries, until my mailman got to know that I was 101, he would kind of, and he drove past a few times. And I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a minute. Hadn't he delivered to the house that was here before mine? There was a big double wide mobile home on this site. And I'm thinking he must have known that that was 101. But then I realized no, because the house is on a corner. I have a big, huge corner lot. I have one of the biggest lots in the entire place. Because this site is on a corner, it actually has two street addresses. And the other address was named after the different street. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Excuse me. Everything went dark there for a second. Um, so he wasn't quite sure. So I met him at the mailbox one day and I introduced myself, and now we've become friends, and he brings a milk bone to Levi. Every time he drops off a package, he always sets a milk bone on top of it for Levi, which I think is the sweetest thing. So he knows. But now my guests that come, that are coming in and I give them the address, or if I have a contractor or somebody coming, I give them the address. Now the house numbers are up on the house. All right. I have been working in the bathroom. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I could do taping in the first coat of spackle or joint compound, whatever you want to call it. I could do that first part, one day, the next day go in, wet sand it, put the second coat on, and just boom, 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 get it done. But I did not want to stress myself and put a time constraint on myself saying I have to do this in so many days. So I took 3 or 4 days. The first thing I did is when I walked through the bathroom and I looked around the bathroom, I grabbed my sheetrock screws and I made sure that every section of that wall that needed a screw that I might not have been happy with, there was like maybe too much of a space between one another, I added a screw here or there. Or if a screw hadn't been countersunk enough and it was sticking out, I backed it out, put a fresh screw in, got it to where it needed to be. Any little flaw. Sometimes if you put a screw in too close to the seam, it'll crack the sheetrock on the end and cause like a bulge. I made sure I cut those little bulges out and I moved a screw to, a couple inches this way or that way so that I could fill that gap. So I took my time. And the thing with me, and this is something I've always gone by, if it matters, take your time. No matter what it is that you're doing, if it matters, take your time. Don't rush through anything. Don't take shortcuts. Don't look for an easy way out. Don't leave a job unfinished. Just take your time and get things done. You'll get a much better result that way. At least I find for me that I get a much better result. So I spent about an hour or so doing the taping throughout the room. And I always take my knife, my spackle knife, and go over the taping to make sure, because I use the self-adhesive, to make sure that it's smooth and adhered and stuck to the wall. And then I did the first coat. Now, I never do, and you'll see the pictures here, I never do a massive thick coat for the first coating. My plan on the first coating is to cover that tape and start the transition between the seams, but to make sure that I have it on there and then it's not messy and bloppy and where it requires a lot of sanding. So I took my time. The next day I went in with my little bowl and my sponge and I wet sanded. I don't dry sand. That makes a mess. And you don't need to ever dry sand anything if you take your time and do it right on the first time round. So I had to just lightly wet sand everything and got that smooth, let it dry out because it was a damp day and it took forever to dry. So I did not pressure myself that I was going to go in there and do the second round of spackling. So I waited a day and I did other things around the house. I did a lot of unpacking in between, guys. I literally unpacked all my blankets and my linens. I found all my towels. I got all that stuff unpacked and organized. I found some more wall decor items that I know it's going to take me a while before I do anything with the living room walls or the bedroom walls. That's not my priority. My priority is the bathroom and then the kitchen. So I said, you know what? I can bring this stuff in. I can put it up because I can always take it down when it comes time to work on those walls. But I wanted my things with me. I missed having my things. So I did that stuff around the house. So then I went back a day or so later and I did the second and final, because if you do it right, you only need to do 2 levels. You don't need to do 3. I used the wider knife for the final one and a good thick coating. You take your knife at a 45-degree angle with a lot of goop. So I took the joint compound. What I tend to do, what works for me, is that I'll load up my knife and then I'll just slather it on the wall, slather it on the seam, and then I'll go back and smooth it because you can't keep a lot of mud, a lot of joint compound on your knife. You can only do just so much or you're constantly digging in to get more. So I put it up and then I go back at my angle and I smooth it all out. And I got to tell you, it came out so good that when I did my wet sand on it yesterday, I barely had to do anything. It literally took me only 15 minutes to go through and wet sand all the seams and the screw holes in the bathroom. So she's now ready for paint. So tomorrow, Levi has his first appointment with his vet, and he's going in to get a nail trim because his nails have grown ridiculously in the past 6 months. He's going to go get a check. I'm still struggling to get his weight up. He's a dog that he'll only eat if he wants to eat. If he's not hungry and he doesn't feel like it, I could put food down there and he won't touch it until he's ready. So it's a struggle to try to get his weight back up from all the weight he lost when Sadie passed away. He's maintaining his weight. Some days I look at him and he looks great. He looks like he's never lost a pound, like he's filled out. And then the next day I'll look at him and I'll see his ribs again. I don't want him to get belly fat. So this is a very slow process. And with him being an older dog, I also don't want to put weight on him so fast that it becomes an issue on his joints. Right now, he's going up and down the stairs better than I do. And he has no problems with his mobility. And I want to keep it that way. So the vet will be checking him out and hopefully giving me some suggestions as to how we can get him back to a healthy weight a little quicker. and get his nails trimmed and just do an overall, just his introductory checkup with the vet. And then while we're out, we're going to stop at the paint store and I'm going to pick up the paint for the bathroom. I already dug up all my, I had rollers and my paint pan and my stirring sticks and all that other stuff I needed. So I just need to get the paint. So we're going to pick up the paint while we're up there. We're going to pick up, I haven't been into town yet to pick up the police report from the incident involving my wireless router that some of you heard about in a previous video. I have filed the complaint with the company, and I did tell them that, before the end of the month, I would get the police report up to them, so they had that. So I'm going to be picking that up tomorrow. Going to be cutting it close because, believe it or not, we're almost at the end of March. We've got, 5-6 days left before we hit April, right? So that's what's been going on around the corner. There's a lot more little stuff to do. I do have a whole bunch of orders. As I said, I have at least 3, if not 4 more orders coming in. And I have something coming by sea, which I don't expect to see that until sometime mid-April. I am still working on trying to find a in-home caregiver for Levi so that I can travel back to Arizona and visit with Mom for a couple of days. I'm not having much luck because even though he's an older dog and very lovable, there are some people that are still breed bias. And the minute they see that he's a pit bull, they're like, no, thank you. They don't even want to get to know him. And that kind of breaks my heart, because he's such a lovable, warm dog. And anyone who owns pit bulls, if you're a loving owner, if that's a family dog and you're not breeding it to fight and be mean, then they're not mean and they won't fight and they don't bite. And they think that they're big, giant lap dogs and big babies and they'll steal your blankets and your pillows. And you've seen the pictures I put up of His Royal Highness. So anyway, so I'm still on that hunt. I really don't want to kennel him because he's never been caged in his life, and the background that he came from, I really don't want to traumatize him like that, thinking that I've left him. He's going to be much more comfortable in his own home. So I am not going to give up. I will, I've gotten some recommendations from some of my neighbors of pet sitters that they've used. And they're not pet sitters from like Rover, or any of those other places. They're just local friends and neighbors that do pet sitting. So we'll see how that goes. But that's the main thing. The rest of the logistics about going back to see Mom, as far as having a place to stay. My good friend has offered me his condo that I can stay in for a couple of days, so that, all I would need is my airfare and my transportation back and forth to pick Mama up, and I have a nice, beautiful little place to bring her. So we'll see how that comes out, but I'll keep you posted. Mama is doing wonderful. I've had phone calls with her about a week or so ago, not this past Sunday, but a week before that. I did have a video call with her. Hopefully I'll have another video call with her, and if I can, I'll try to record that call so that you get to see her and hear her and know how she's doing, because I know you enjoyed that, and I have had some requests. You guys wanted me to do that again. So I'll try to do that again, okay? Any other requests that you have, if there's something particular, I'm getting ready to do a clothing order from AliExpress. You've all seen me do a bazillion pieces of clothing from TEMU and how to teach you how to select the proper clothing so you don't get that nasty material. Right? I've done everything I can with TEMU for clothes. I have found that there's still a few things that I would want to have for here, and I'm going to shop AliExpress for them. I've been doing the comparison shopping, and I'm finding AliExpress is comparable in price, but I want to check their quality and their styles and see what I can find. All right, so that we can get a little more exposure to that. Is there another place that you would like me to try shopping so that I can try it before you know if it's a place that you want to shop or something that you want to buy? I'm always very budget conscious like you guys are. So I'm never going to go anywhere that's really pricey and expensive. My days of doing that are over. Done. That's it. Um, I'm going to stay financially comfortable, and I want you guys to do the same. Okay. A lot of you have messaged me that you've had some big milestones in your life going on, and I do want to say congratulations. Some of you have sold homes that I know you thought you weren't going to sell, but you did get under contract, which is wonderful. Others of you have had major milestones with new grandbabies and new grandnieces or nieces and nephews being born, and a lot of family stuff, weddings and things going on, graduations. Congratulations to all of you for everything that's bringing you joy in your life. Manifest what you want, put it out into the universe, all that white light and pink positive thoughts, because you get what you give. You put positive energy out there, you get positive energy, right? So, big thumbs up for the video. Make sure you like this. Make sure you share it so that everybody can see. And if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers. And when we hit 5,000, that goodie box is going out. And as I've already told you guys, it's got more than 50 items in it. And the value of it right now is over $300. And I don't care where you live. You can live in Ireland, England, Germany, Australia, Hawaii. It does not matter. If I do that automatic picker and you happen to win, I don't care where you live. I'm sending it. I don't care if it costs me $100 to send it to you. I'm sending it. That's how I thank you guys for being such amazing supporters, and not just supporting the channel, but supporting me, supporting Levi, being my friends and my family. Yeah, you guys are just terrific. So make sure, stay caffeinated or hydrated. Above all else, please stay sweet. No nasties, right? Stay sweet. And I will catch you soon with more TEMU and AliExpress.